tell you about the 30-day challenge I embarked on from the 5th of November this year to the 5th of December. And it took me from barely getting anything done to being so organised that I would actually getting my work done ahead of time. By the way, my name's Dawn H. Jones from Hope Place HR. Now, in September this year, I returned to work after taking most of the summer off due to being unwell. But by November last month, I still felt lethargic some days, and I felt literally like I was dragging myself around. Finally, I said, come on, Dawn, you're going to have to do something despite how you feel. And my first thought was to contact a legal colleague and partner with her to do a webinar. So I made the phone call, and within 30 minutes, the webinar was a go. And that's happening on the 9th of February. So look out for that webinar. Around that time, I saw an email from my email provider that provides my lists, and they provided a means to which anyone on my email list could tip me through a virtual tip jar if they thought I provided value to them. Cool, I thought. I found a picture of a tip jar and put it on my vision board. A day or so later, I thought, why is this on my vision board for next year? Why not now? So I pushed myself past the discomfort and I created a virtual tip jar. And this exercise was the one that actually led me to my 30-day challenge. Now, initially the challenge started out as doing one thing a day that made me uncomfortable. And by the end of the day, it was the end of the afternoon, it turned into doing one thing that made me uncomfortable or one thing I didn't want to do. So I called it the Get It Done Challenge. That night, I wrote out 2 lists, one for my house and another for the business. And I mainly wrote down things I avoided doing or would put off for as long as possible. So some of the items on my list for the house included repot plants, arrange for the fridge door to be repaired, wipe down the doors and paintwork in the passageway, and also clean the blinds. Other jobs included organising my kitchen drawers, those drawers. For the business, it was write the workshop, get the proposal done, research the webinar, write the webinar outline, and then, get all of these things done. Now, they seem straightforward tasks, don't they? However, I've learned that what is easy to do doesn't always get done. Now, during the challenge, I added things like reading 1 book a week for the rest of the year. But in this video, I want to focus on my 2 lists that I wanted to get through. After I wrote the list, I created a tracker to track my progress, like keep me on task, much like an old-fashioned school register. And every time I completed my task, I recorded them on my tracker sheet, and those ticks, notations, and jobs crossed off my list was very satisfying indeed. Now, remember, all I had to do was one thing that made me uncomfortable or one thing I didn't want to do. Plus, I also created the challenge to stop me feeling sluggish, to create momentum. So these are some of the highlights from the 30 days. I actually discovered that some of the tasks on my list only took me 5 minutes or less to do. 5 minutes, God. For example, arranging an appointment online, and that was my job done for the day. Now, other tasks took around 20 minutes, like tidying a drawer, reorganizing a cupboard, a small cupboard I add, and booking a repair. My small victories over procrastination boosted my confidence. And instead of, do you remember one of my tasks having to wipe down the paintwork in the passageway? We got the opportunity to give the whole passageway a fresh lick of paint, even better. And I might add, we paid someone to do it. So what about the business? What did I get achieved on my list for the business? Well, I completed an online skills to improve my skills in proposal writing. So I just sat down and learned a course in 1 week intensively. I submitted the proposal for next year on time for next year and ahead of time in some instances. I wrote a masterclass on policy and process awareness that I'll be delivering next year, and that's already done. Now, my 30-day challenge was a challenge indeed. I had moments when I thought, Why did you start this challenge? What was you thinking of? And early on in the challenge, I learned something about myself. I found that I didn't appreciate being told what to do, even if I was the one telling myself I had to do it. I know, what can I say? And I did get everything done on my list, but I achieved more than a job on my list as I took the opportunities to get other things done. For example, part of my Hoover broke. I groaned, just got onto the supplier and got a new part. And what I didn't anticipate was how this challenge would change me. First of all, I became more organised, quicker to do things and more proactive. And this created a momentum in my life and a sense of satisfaction that I kept my word to myself, even doing that one smaller task a day. Secondly, I discovered something else. The to-do items I procrastinated, they were taking up space in my brain and hindering me from focusing on what I really needed to do. And thirdly, I realised I could do much more than I was actually doing and still have time to relax. You imagine that? Now, you can create your own Get It Done challenge. It doesn't have to be 30 days like mine was. Perhaps you'd like to get some task out of the way by the end of the year. And your challenge could be 3, 5, or 7 days. Most of us have things to do leading up to Christmas and New Year's. So why not make them a part of a Get It Done challenge? All you have to do is this. Are you ready? Number 1, write down a list of what you need to do and what you'd like to get done. Remember, no job too small, no job too big. Number 2, get at least one thing done every day. Doesn't matter if it only takes you 2 minutes, get it done. And some days I unexpectedly achieved 3 or 4 things. Who would have thought it? Thirdly, once you've completed your task for the day, cross it off your list. It's satisfying. And if you want to achieve even more, involve your family and friends and share out the task. After all, many hands make light work. Now, that's the 30-day Get It Done challenge. Here's to you getting your task done on your list, boosting your self-esteem and setting yourself up for the new year. I wish you and yours a wonderful New Year's celebration and a great new year. See you next week.